Nerd or not? Hey, do you remember that scene from the Goonies where they're all sliding down that like water slide type of thing and it's really fast and there's spikes and very dangerous looking, and that's what eating the naked chicken chalupa feels like. This reads like a scenario from like old school JLI. I'm not even kidding you.
So wait, no, it was after 3 and before 2, right? That's when on 3, guy. 3 or after?
Dude, this shit was in an episode of Archer that I just watched. I'm not even kidding. That's what it's reminding me of.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerd or Not podcast, where we tend to give our outlandish opinions on a wide range of topics, from movies to television to video games, board games, comics, anything else under the sun. Sometimes we even talk sports or pretend sports. It's usually just sweaty underwear wrestling. But hey, you know what? It works. I am Jay. With me is Corey. Say hello.
Hey, sweaty underwear wrestling. Is RDV still in the game, or?
Well, he has swamp ass at all times, so there's a good chance, yeah.
Well, he's still in that game, yeah. I'm just wondering if it's still relevant to wrestling or not, but anyway.
Well, sure. Bob, how you doing?
Sober. I could use a drink. And I have none around me.
So first things first tonight, we are going to go back to the last episode we talked about, and that is going to be the Royal Rumble, and give a little bit of a recap.
Oh, yeah.
Bob, you were doing a live stream of the Rumble.
Yes, I was.
I tuned in and saw you in a La Parka mask saying, "It's not 2 minutes," and laughed my ass off, and then just kind of went about my business. So you kind of went a beautiful mind on everything, didn't you?
Yeah, I want to see if I could pull up the so I could use it as reference. Where is it? I might have deleted it because I thought it was stupid to keep track of a pro wrestling timed event. But yeah, it's basically like the first 5 guys were like a minute 30, a minute 45, a minute 30, a minute 37, 2 minutes by I think the 6th entrance.
And you were timing all of this out like mentally, or?
I had a stopwatch going, and every time it hit 0, I would just hit lap, and it would give me the next time. So it would do the countdown, and it was like, well, no one's sticking by this. I'm wasting my time.
Well, damn, put away the streams and stuff. Take those Rain Man powers over to the Seminole Casino and actually, put yourself forward a little bit with them.
So my favorite bit of kind of side trivia about this Rumble, which we didn't unfortunately get to see on television. First off, how long was that ramp?
Yeah, they didn't show it on TV, but did you know there was a golf cart that was?
That's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah,
the fat guys got golf carts.
They had like how a Corvette's like a pace car for the Indy, or is it? Sponsored in any way?
It was a golf cart you'd never see on TV.
Oh, okay.
They never showed it.
Oh, right.
But plenty of people that were on the aisle got pictures of it. So there's pictures of like big badass Braun Strowman going down on the back of a golf cart, which ruins the illusion entirely.
Yeah. My favorite was when they took a photo of Big E on the back of the cart, and he tweeted out he retweeted the photo and said, "Well, I guess this is WWE's way of saying I'm fat."
What I want to imagine is that like the Big Show being carted back up the ramp was like hanging off the back of it, like urchins from 1940 San Francisco or something.
Like Eddie Valiant in Roof. My favorite thing all night was the Cena Styles match stole the show. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. It was fantastic. Dare I say phenomenal. But the Rumble match itself, everything kind of went as predicted. We didn't get any surprises. Ty Dillinger at 10 was great.
They did.
That was fan service.
They put him out at 10.
Yeah,
that's a win for me.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah.
But that was the surprise entrant. That's it. There's no one else. There was no Finn. There was no Samoa Joe. No Shinsuke Nakamura. Nothing. It was Ty Dillinger. Which I love Ty.
Mm-hmm.
And Ty's great. A bit of a letdown, where it's like we're kind of building ourselves up to like it's going to be Joe's debut, and here comes Finn Balor coming back, and it's just Ty Dillinger, and then
doesn't that seem a little out of place? With all these guys they have in NXT, and the one guy you see, Ty Dillinger.
Well, I understand why Ty was there because his gimmick lends itself to being in the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
He is the perfect 10. He should come out at 10. If they really wanted to be assholes, they should have put him out at 11, which I think would have been hilarious.
Like, would have fit his character pretty well too.
Yeah, it really would have, because they start the countdown and everyone gets to 10 thinking it's going to be Ty, and here comes the reanimated corpse of Crash Holly, and then everyone everyone's let down, and then they get to the countdown for 11, and it gets 10, and people just look confused, and it's. So I really liked the Rumble match. I really enjoyed it up until number 30 came out.
Who is? Let me guess. Wait, I actually didn't see it, so I'm kind of like getting secondhand info from you guys.
Okay.
Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the crowd was phenomenal throughout the entire show. They were hot for everything they were supposed to be hot for. They cheered for the right people. They booed for the right people. Except Roman. And Roman's a face, but they didn't cheer for Roman at all. They didn't give a shit about Roman. So they've got this fantastic Rumble match going on. Mm-hmm. They get to number 30. The countdown hits, and his music goes, and you can just see the air go out of the arena.
Well, there wasn't even any cheering, like no boos
about that for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's just straight up booze, and then it gets to the final 3, and it's Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns.
Huh.
And Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton are heels.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd is going insane because they want them to win. So, mercifully, for my predictions, not so well because Bray got eliminated. But mercifully, and this will be the only time I ever say this, Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble.
Wow. We've come so far from 2005.
Yeah, well, there were no handbags to take crap in this time. So, but it was a good show up until like literally the last 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just continue to try to force feed Roman Reigns down the throat of the fans, and the fans continue to not give a shit whatsoever.
Well, they gave enough of a shit to boo, at least, which might have sent mixed messages to creative. I don't know.
Well, they've been booing him for 3 years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they refuse to turn him heel. Although it could be happening because it looks like he's going to be fighting Undertaker at WrestleMania. So if you're the guy to retire the Undertaker, you ain't a face. No one's going to like you.
Right.
Brock Lesnar's a special attraction, and he was getting booed after he broke the streak.
Right.
So, Bob, what grade would you give the Royal Rumble?
Wow. Well, the Cena Styles match, I think, has the potential of being. I think it's Dave Meltzer gives the legendary 6-star performances. I think this one's in the running for that.
Yeah, he gave the Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada match a 6-star match from Wrestle Kingdom 11 this year. And he only gave this match a 4 3/4 stars rating.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what Dave's deal is. He's a weirdo, but
I will say that after seeing that performance by him and AJ Styles, I cannot consciously ever chant "Cena sucks" ever again. I was blown away by that performance.
No, it's a fallacy. Meredith is home.
Tessie!
And Tessie scared the shit out of me. It's a fallacy at this point. Cena doesn't suck. He's a great wrestler. He's a great performer. He can work with anybody. Especially because, like you said, Corey, he's like willingly trying to experiment with new things now.
I think we're good until our next Road to WrestleMania episode.
That sounds good to me. So we're gonna go into the news. We got some bad news this week. Some majorly bad news this week. One of our favorite character actors, the absolutely legendary John Hurt, passed away on January 25th. Just after his 77th birthday. It's hard to, it's sad. He's amazing. He was a great actor. And I think all of us, all three of us being Doctor Who fans, the War Doctor was one of our favorite roles. Because it was, Proto Eccleston, Uh,
Yeah.
and
Pick up Nine's pieces, and you also had to fill in a pretty big damn plot hole on the 50th special.
very much so.
Uh-huh.
But outside of the role of the War Doctor, Bob, what was your favorite of his roles?
I believe it was on HBO, but Jim Henson did a series called The Storyteller. Did you ever get to see that? Because I thought...
Yeah, that was on...
that was on ABC, wasn't it?
I think it was on ABC, but it is streaming on Netflix now, yeah.
Yeah, it's remarkable. But I won't spoil anything. Well, I'm not really spoiling anything. It's basically just John Hurt telling stories, and there's actors involved with Jim Henson Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not selling it very well, but it's a really great piece of cinematography.
Corey, what was your favorite of Mr. Hurt's roles?
Oh man, I don't have a whole lot of exposure to his work, which sucks because anytime you describe an actor as a character actor, you're going to know innately that that's their craft rather than their marketing. So they're going to be better than, I guess, celebrity grade actors and shit, which sucks because you want to get as much of that work into your brain as possible. You want to see as much of it as you can. I never got to see that much John Hurt. There was Alien, and then Professor Broomhome from Hellboy was going to be it because it's not like they even had they even had to add that much makeup to him. He just dropped into that role. It was crazy to see that transformation.
For me, it was. I don't think anyone doesn't know. I'm a huge fan of the Harry Potter books, and his role as Mr. Ollivander, the owner of the wand shop, was amazing. He's just, it's like his role in Hellboy. He just, that fits. You were supposed to be Ollivander. That was cosmically, that dice was shook, and everything worked out the right way. So
yeah, he kind of like maybe hit a pigeonholing threshold when he hit like 60 or so. How old was he in Hellboy?
Old. I mean, it was
right.
he was just 77, so probably 60, 62, because it's been about 13 years. So.
Yeah. So physically speaking, he resembles the characters he's supposed to play. But like everything about Broomhome, and I don't think I'm familiar with the Ollivander role because I've only seen. Well, I only remembered 3, the third movie. Sure. But he, like the posture and everything, you would imagine that he had lifted right from the book itself. And you know how sparse in detail Mignola books are.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing thing to see.
Yeah. So that wasn't the only bit of bad news we got this week. Although this news looks to be at least something that the actor chose and not was thrust upon him, like death, I suppose. But sorry, I couldn't segue that very well.
Fatalities, but hey.
We saw that Peter Capaldi's final appearance as the 12th Doctor will be the Christmas episode of Series 10.
Yep.
And man, that sucks ass.
Yeah. Doesn't it seem like it happened like way too suddenly too?
The Doctor now?
It's been 4 years, but he's just going to complete 3 seasons. So it feels like we're getting robbed.
Well, 2 seasons and 3 Christmas specials. Why it only seems like he hasn't been here for that long is because he's just had like 2 proper seasons of air. I would like them to not try to top themselves in regenerations anymore because a planet is at stake. I mean, eventually you're gonna have to think that things are gonna escalate to that level. I mean, first Tennant blows up the TARDIS, then Matt Smith. What does he do? He turns into like a friggin' a lava totem or something, and just like destroys a bunch of Dalek spaceships and crap. Well, what's there to be done for an encore?
I hope he just tap dances out as he's glowing.
That would be great. I'm just hoping nothing catastrophic happens, like he regenerates and somehow ends up sucking an entire galaxy up into his asshole or something, like just fucking universe melting like that. It's going to have to keep going upwards unless Capaldi says, look, no, Burning Man is it. That's it for the Doctor. I'm going to do a regeneration. Just a straight up regeneration. Although I hope his follow-up pays homage to the third Doctor, lands the TARDIS, bottle of scotch drops out the front of it, followed by him going right into a field or something. The third's regeneration was cute.
So I'm a bit of a disadvantage in this conversation because I haven't seen as many episodes of his portrayal as you guys have, having missed all of the last season. But what did you guys take away from his portrayal of the Doctor?
Well, first off, season 9, that's all you need. Season 9. If that is the season, I'm going to turn all non-Doctor Who. They ask me, what season should I start with? 9.
Okay.
9! But, what I took away from his portrayal was, like, the weight of the wisdom that came through his voice and his portrayal is just, we'd never seen that before in any of the other incarnations, maybe ever since maybe Doctor 3. It could have been because of his age, but it seemed like the wisdom that the man had, or the character had, came through more in the actor than ever before.
And it's an interesting comparison. 12 to 3 too, because 3 was like super inconsistent. When you go from like his first, set of stories to the ones that follow him, he was like an irresponsible, like treacherous little shit in the first one. Remember, he tried to escape Earth in the TARDIS, and then the TARDIS broke down, so he had to stay. He was like, "Oh, it's too heavy. I'm out of here. Bye." And then afterwards, he becomes the Kung Fu Doctor, which was very strange to see.
It was the 70s. Kung Fu was
the 70s, right?
You had to be Kung Fu.
Yeah. What did I take from him? One made me feel better about getting older. I mean, a lot of people are like dealing with that a lot more gracefully than I am, because for some reason I'm still like in a perpetual childhood. I really don't know why.
That's our generation.
It's a generational thing.
Yeah, we're all the same way.
The other thing was that, bringing dance hall fashion back into like the mainstream. That was pretty. It was an ornamental thing, but I thought it was pretty cool. Like guys running around in Luke's boots and Crombie coat. It's not, most doctors were like, here, this is what they used to wear back in like the Edwardian era, and he's like, hey, this is what people used to get beat up in. That's the worst Scottish. That's worse than Bob's.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but that was not a Scottish accent.
This is what people used to get beat up in back in the 80s, like that. And I was like, oh, people were still stylish that recently? That's pretty nifty. I just hope the next Doctor isn't doing like fucking flannel and Neil Young shit. That would be pretty awful.
So for me, it was just refreshing to see someone who accepted the gravity of the role, because for however long, I don't remember how long Smith was the Doctor, but it felt twice as long as it was to me.
Yeah,
he was just so fucking cavalier and flippant, and it bothered me. I didn't like his portrayal as the Doctor. Seeing someone who got the gravity of it and understood the importance of the character and what he'd been through, it was nice to experience again.
Yeah, that was and you could tell there was a lot of like a lot of experience brought over from real life into the performance too, which made it it made it more 3-dimensional than Smith.
Definitely.
Bummer about the Smith thing is that there were some damn good set pieces in that run, but it's
yeah.
it was the 11th Doctor. Nothing against Smith, but it was a bit of a bore.
So what was your favorite moment from number 12?
I don't know. Plenty to pick from. There was the bit where he punched his way through a diamond wall over the time span of like 7 million years. That was interesting. Damn. It's funny. My favorite episode is actually Flatline, which is before they figured the 12th Doctor out. But I think my favorite moment from any episode was the war speech that he gave in the Zygon invasion, which I thought was funny given today's political climate. A lot of people are kind of like moving away from that idea, but criticize like a heavy-handed criticism of war and why even the victorious side of any war is going to be the loser in the end. And I thought that was pretty cool to put in like a mainstream science fiction show.
My personal favorite was when he was describing the bootstrap paradox.
That was so cool.
Now, for you, Jason, you didn't see it. It's one of the best. I think it was a 2-part episode. It starts off with he's describing a time traveler who goes back in time and he's a big fan of Beethoven, but he can't find Beethoven. His family never heard of Beethoven. And he thought, this is so odd. But wait a minute. If I leave, that means there's going to be no world with Beethoven. His music's not going to exist. I have his sheet music. I'll compose all the music myself. I'll become Beethoven. And then it starts like this infinity loop where it just, who originally wrote the music that the time traveler came back in time with?
Like a chronological chicken or egg question.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. And they've actually used this a couple of times. I think Blink was an example of the bootstrap paradox.
Yep.
Like, where did the lines originally come from? It's just one of those continuing things they revisit in Doctor Who. Only this time they actually call it out. Yeah, hey, by the way, it's the bootstrap paradox.
Yeah.
Hope you like it.
Is. Now you can understand the entire plot of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
For you guys, where does he rank on the modern Doctors for you?
Two. Second, behind Eccleston.
Eccleston was a strong one for me for a long time until Capaldi. Capaldi is my favorite of all time, with Eccleston a distant second. That's how much I have loved Capaldi's performance. I thought it was perfect. How many negative episodes did he have, Corey? Like 1, 2?
Most of them happened during season 8. And I actually just watched season 8 after the announcement was made to kind of refamiliarize myself. And I was like, it's funny. Episodes that I hated originally when I saw it, I ended up liking. And then there are a bunch that I liked initially, then kind of hated upon reflection. I'd say there's a good 4 that were like.
He's probably number 2 for me behind Eccleston as well. Eccleston is my favorite Doctor by leaps and bounds. But he's number 2. And then, John Hurt probably behind him just because of the lack of performances.
Yeah.
And it was a short performance too. So to be ranked that high up says a lot about it.
It was impactful. Yeah.
It was. So Bob, who is your pick for the next Doctor? Pardon me. That was my email notification.
Or that our Tessie's sitting under your ass.
Nope. Everything's fine.
Everything. Okay.
So, next who?
That's a tough question. I mean, beforehand, I never would have picked Capaldi because I had very little exposure to him. So I think the next person is going to be a majorly unknown person.
Okay.
I don't think the BBC is going to go away from someone who is both white and male. I'd be shocked if they do, but it's not outside the realm of possibility.
How about you, Corey?
I don't want them to go back to somebody who's like in their late 20s and a little too marketable. They did that. Well, Tennant wasn't really in his late 20s, but he looked youngish, and he was thin. Same story with Matt Smith. It would have been the same story with Capaldi if they didn't go for somebody who was like in their late middle ages and stuff. And I thought that was a pretty ballsy move, which is great. You got to change things up, But I'm afraid they're going to go back to somebody that Tumblr won't complain about. So
does that exist?
Well, for I guess sane reasons, I don't know. Tumblr's tough to decode for the mind of the well-adjusted
many
human
reasons.
Being. Yeah, I'd love it to be, and y'all are gonna know who I'm gonna say right off. I'd love it to be Patterson Joseph, but he is. What is he on right now? Timeless?
Remind me, yeah. What's he doing?
He's doing Timeless right now, which I didn't know, so I'm going to have to start watching that. I don't think you've ever actually seen anything he might have been unless you've watched that Mitchell and Webb look, Peep Show, Jekyll or Jekyll. I don't really give a crap about pronunciations. He's been in a ton of like British stuff, but he would be perfect. He would be a fantastic Doctor, but I don't think it's going to happen. What I'd like to see, somebody who has stated in the past as being like all about hopping into the TARDIS, would be Haley Atwell. Agent Carter's not going on, clearly. Because of that experience, she can do action scenes and stuff. Conviction, I think that was her last show, the drama where she played a politician's daughter.
The thing that bombed on CBS? Or whatever it was?
Yeah, that went right downwards. That that's gone. So she didn't have to worry about that anymore. And she was on an episode of Black Mirror, which means that she's still open to working, back in the home place. So, yeah, that'd be great.
So my pick is Haley Atwell's on my list as well.
Mm-hmm.
But to pick someone else, I'm thinking Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley from Harry Potter.
Oh, yes.
He is.
He's too big for the role.
More than television, hasn't done any movies since Harry Potter wrapped. Has done all small stuff in England. He's a good actor. He's just awkward and weird looking enough that I think he would not be an instant, oh my God, he's so beautiful, Matt Smith run.
Yeah.
About time we had a ginger doctor.
Thank you. The doctor would finally be ginger.
The ginger claws. Yeah. There's that.
I want him to be pissed off about it. Like, God damn it.
I thought this was going to be so much more fun. Just a normal person with red hair.
All right, so final topic for the night.
Mm-hmm.
The naked chicken chalupa. What the fuck were you two thinking?
Well,
and convince me to eat one, because I haven't had one yet.
I got one of these bastards.
It begins. You're holding it with your bare hands?
Yeah. I'm also going to eat it with my bare mouth.
Jesus. That's like getting a back rub from a Lamborghini salesman.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
So, all right, thumbs up, thumbs down, want more. I mean, obviously, Bob, I know what your answer is for want more, because you're scarfing down another one.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
All right. Corey, you get to go first on this one.
So, Bob, and this is going to be just for the Florida locals, bringing a little bit of Joe and Stan into the podcast by talking into the mic with you.
It would only be perfect if I start choking on this.
Corey, thumbs up or thumbs down? Would you try the naked chicken chalupa again?
Again, I can see myself getting buzzed enough to walk over to the Taco Bell and get another one and not feel an ounce of shame about it. Sure. It didn't destroy my guts. It took it a lot easier on me than I thought it would, which is
really
a hell of a thing for like nothing but saturated fat in a taco shape.
Gentlemen, what is your favorite gimmick fast food item?
I'm going to go with the Texas taco sandwich. That's air quotes around sandwich.
Sure.
This was a 1995 thing used to promote. What was it? City Slickers 2. All I remember is that like they got Jack Palance to hot tacos, and that's pretty momentous.
But it is indeed.
Yeah.
So I've got two. One, and I actually had forgotten about this, but you mentioned it in your parentheses on our rundown.
Mm-hmm.
The Wendy's Super Bar was the greatest goddamn fucking thing ever. Consider that a gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't consider it so much a gimmick as it was a great idea that was about 20 years ahead of its time. We weren't gluttonous enough as a country yet. It's
yeah.
But my personal favorite one was tied into Wild Wild West, and was the rodeo cheeseburger from Burger King.
Shit. Yeah.
Which was a gimmick. And then stopped being a gimmick, and now is still on their menu.
It is? What's it called now?
Yeah, it's still fantastic.
No,
so
what's the name now? Because tomorrow's payday, and I am to get me some.
It's burger.
The rodeo cheeseburger. All right, continue.
Yeah, and it's I love that thing, man. You and I used to make numerous runs to Burger King to get those things back in '99.
I think,
and to buy the shades that they sold.
The shades,
so good.
We were making like way too many runs to Burger King at that point, because Small Soldiers came out, and then Men in Black the series was on the air, and it was just like the year for fast food premiums from day one to finish out. And I'm pretty sure I destroyed my intestines with that binge period.
Bob, you've got something on the rundown that I have no idea what it is, and I am intrigued to find out.
This was a very, very short-lived item called the Meat Mountain from Arby's.
I've never heard of it.
It it was basically a promotional joke, and because they had like this poster in their restaurant, it was a pair of buns with like all kinds of different slices of meat: roast beef, turkey, chicken, ground beef, like all this different. Oh, sorry.
You getting the vapors?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I need a sponsored drink.
I
Brought
like
to you
that
by Taco Bell.
Pepsi.
they've kept their branding color palette for like 20 years, Taco Bell.
Yeah, the Meat Mountain, anyway, was a promotional item. And they decided, you know what? Some people might actually buy this gigantic chunk of heart attack.
Yeah.
And I tried it once. So I was like, yeah, this is how I'm going out.
It's, otherwise known as the alpha stages for the now popular paleo diet. If you're gonna
Yeah, what everybody does, all these gastropubs. And to prove how much I hate myself, I've got 2 of these things.
God damn it, Bob.
Sorry.
This will be Bob's final appearance on the Cretins Guild podcast, on the Nerd or Not podcast. See you tomorrow. So, Corey, while you're recovering, Bob, what you doing?
A Viking funeral for Bob in a taco-shaped boat. And it's in flames.
Just put fire sauce on it.
Yeah. Sorry. Still recovering from a cough. If you can't tell. Okay. We're good.
So, Corey, what are you doing?
Oh, man. Laughing myself sick at Bob's eventual gastronomic demise. What am I doing that I've been enjoying? I've been streaming Gravity Rush Remastered, which was an unintentional holy grail in 2017 for video games, because it was on my wish list for a while. Wanted to play it on the Vita. Wasn't willing to buy a Vita because what's the cliche? It's a $300 Persona machine or whatever. Uh-huh. Basically, you buy niche stuff for it, and Anyway, so it came out for the Vita, was announced for the PS4 last year. I was like, oh, I'll get that digitally. And then they announced a hard, a shelf version of it. So I was like, so that became something. And then once I found both the time and the money to spend on it, it was delisted. And because it was an Amazon exclusive, they delisted the living out of it, which meant that most aftermarket copies used went up to about like $115.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I wasn't that curious about it. So I was about ready to settle just on buying the digital copy. And then for like 3 days, like 2 weeks ago, it was on Amazon for $30. And I was like, it's mine. It is mine. And it's a damn good game too. It's awesome. It's a highlight.
I am playing Fire Emblem Heroes, the new mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
And it is fucking spectacular. It is microtransaction to hell, of course, because it is a mobile game.
Mm-hmm.
But you get enough rewards, and if you tie your My Nintendo account to it, you don't have to do any microtransactions because you earn points like all the goddamn time. So if you don't have a My Nintendo account, you can choose to spend real-world money on the game, but if you don't want to, you don't have to, and it works really well, and it plays brilliantly, and it looks great, and there's voice acting, and it's just tiny Fire Emblem. So, Bob, what are you doing?
What I'm doing? Well, I wanted to go take this opportunity to rant for a little bit. What I'm not doing, and that's I'm not watching this year's Super Bowl. I'm cutting it out of my schedule. First one I've missed in a long time.
Okay. So why?
You need some ice there, Corey?
Scotch would be great, but I'd have to go downstairs, and that requires walking.
Well, we all have limits.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 major reasons. The first one is I work very early on Monday morning, so to stay up and watch a Super Bowl that I'm not really interested in with 2 teams, I could really care less. I can name 5 players from both squads. I'm turned off by so much. The ads last year were bad, and they're worse than the ads the year before, where I felt pretty much guilty for being both a father and a male at the same time.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and then I died ads. Those didn't really hit me. I don't think the halftime show is going to be good. I think it's going to be crap. The music is crap.
Lady Gaga?
Yeah, I don't see that as a great football halftime show. One of the biggest hypocrisies I've heard so far is they want to make the Monday after Super Bowl Sunday a holiday, a national holiday, which I think is fucking stupid. I think that's the first time I've cussed this entire podcast.
It was glorious. Glorious. Yeah.
One company in particular, Kraft Heinz, they said, you know what, we'll go ahead and we'll make Monday a company holiday. Yeah, if you are an executive. The factories will still be open, so the lower schlubs, they still have to come in Monday morning and work. So it just move the goddamn Super Bowl to Saturday. It doesn't have to be on Sunday.
It's the Super Bowl. It's boring. I will see all the ads online the next day. I don't have time to dedicate 9 hours of my life to watch a sport I don't really care about.
Interesting.
I've got better shit to do.
You know how some people would watch the Super Bowl just for the ads?
Mm-hmm.
And over the past couple of years, they're releasing the ads before the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
So Nintendo commercial today that they're going to air during the Super Bowl, and I watched it on YouTube. It's like, all right, you guys aren't telling me anything I haven't seen before.
All right. Well, that is it for this week, guys. We will be back again next week because, hey, that's 2 weeks in a row. Let's keep the fucking streak rolling. What do you guys say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Cool. It is a pleasure, as always, to spend time with you guys. We hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Give us suggestions for topics you'd like us to talk about. I know we've got one in mind for next week that Corey brought up that is excellent about video games and wonderful gaming moments that are kind of accidental and excellent. So we'll be talking about that. But until then, guys, hit us up on Twitter at Cretins Guild. Find us on Facebook if we're there. I don't know if we are or not.
Yes, Cretins Guild Studios is on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then if you feel like it, you can message us on Cretins Guild or on Twitter at the Cretins Guild handle there. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to follow our personal accounts, you can, but it's nothing as interesting as that. So.
I wouldn't recommend it at all. Especially my Instagram, which is just filth.
Mine is pictures of my dog sleeping. That is all my Instagram has turned into. I am
follow his Instagram, all right?
Yeah, follow his. That's the better one.
You can look at it at work.
That is true. That is true. So that's all for this week, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. And we will talk to you all next week.